if we are online now. Could you perhaps check if we're online?
Ja.
Change, little variety so far.
Nee.
Yes, that's very good.
Ah yeah, here we are live.
Yay.
Okay. So apologies everybody, we had problems starting the planned live stream. I don't know what happened, but I was not able to schedule it. So yeah, good evening. Finally we are live. Fehler. YouTube. And yeah, so let's try to use the time. A lot of things has happened today in the 3 Peaks bike race, and yeah, so we have quite some things to discuss. And well, today I'm not doing this on my own. I have an expert here for the 3 Peaks bike race. Last year's finisher, Stevie, is today with me, and she will give some insights. So Stevie, welcome to the show. Take a seat, please.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Stevie did last year's edition of the 3 Peaks bike race. She finished the race in 9 days, 11 hours and something.
46 minutes.
Quite some time. So she can tell you quite a few insights on what's going on in such a race. But before we start, I think the major topic for today may be the weather. So I've got some footage from the field, which I would like to share with you. And this is this video. Steve, cap number 299, was so kind to submit this video to me, and it gives just a 15-second insight how this looked in Italy. Yeah, this is crazy. Stevie, you have been in the race last year, and as far as I know, you had challenging conditions as well. So can you give us some insights how this feel when you're 3 days into the race and then are facing such conditions?
Yeah, so I think conditions like you were facing, or the race participants were facing today, are a big challenge, because like it's quite frustrating if you're riding in the rain and everything is soaking wet and you don't, well, you want to eat some kilometers and you don't really want to be in the wet, and at some stage you get cold. You can't avoid being cold, so the only thing to do is to like shorten the day, get some rest, especially when it comes in the afternoon. So make it an early stop and give it a go for the night.
And how did the race afterwards involved? So you 3 days, and it's a long time, and you said you needed 9 days. What happened later on?
So like I think I must start with the first day, because the first day was really hot, and then after the second day, or at the second day, I got the first thunderstorms on the Alpe Adria bike route, which is part of the race today as well. And so that was the day of the big thunderstorms, and yeah, that was quite a challenge, but we were able to get some shelter. But then after the day, the race evolved further. Like you need to balance the rest more. Well, you need to give the resting part a bigger piece of the race. So you need to balance the riding and the resting and the eating, of course. Isn't it an eating contest?
It's an eating competition. We also get some footages from the field about their dinners and breakfast and whatever. So while we are talking, I can show some more insights. This year is from the peak number 1, Monte Zocolan, some pictures Michael, the organizer, has forwarded to me to share with you. So I think that gives an idea how the atmospheres look like, and this is quite amazing that this changed so frequently. When we last been online here on the Sunday afternoon, things were quite sunny, but it turned out that it really got bad, and so a lot of riders really stopped in front. Yeah, so maybe the two are welcome. The first rider on the peak number 1, it's Lauron, cap number 205, who is battling for the. See here, he is about to reach the Feldberg, the checkpoint number 2. So congratulations, Lauron, you have already made it half the way. Yeah, so this will be a nice evening for him, hopefully not too wet. Stevie, how did it feel when you reached peak number 2?
Yeah, peak number 2 in my race was the Grimsel Pass, and before that I was doing the Furka Pass and the Oberalp Pass, and well, I had some headwinds, and finally on Grimsel the weather turned grey and got grayer and grayer, and when I reached the pass, when I was starting the descent, it was pouring rain, and I was so much reminded of the pictures that I saw today of my descent from the Grimsel Pass, which was probably, well, normally I like going down fast, but I didn't go down fast. So that was I was soaked, just like everybody else probably today.
Yeah, very nice. So what is interesting today is the different routing choices. Here I just wanted to show you that's the checkpoint number 2 parcours. You may remember that we had the same situation on checkpoint number 1. So this is a given route. The red line here is the given route that all riders have to follow. But before reaching there, there were different routings possible, and I just wanted to show you a bit, because route planning, is always the big thing to do. So when we look at Lauron's route, he has taken a quite direct route. I zoom out a little bit and you see these blue dots with the yellow line. That's where he has passed by. So he has taken the way here through Tyrol and Vorarlberg, and then heading into Switzerland, passing Lake Constance on the south shore. Yeah, that's, as you can see, the route most riders choose. Currently, there's a northern and a southern variant of that, but usually this seems to be the optimal way. But it's not always about being optimal, but also perhaps riding nicely. And we would like to have a look at Thomas Schmittinger. He has chosen a more northern route, and he's not the only one, as you can see. So those riders took from Telfs here in Austria the northern way into Germany. Yeah, so going from Austria into Germany, passing Lake Constance on the north side, and Thomas will most likely then turn here into the parcours of peak number 2. Stevie, how much time is it to plan the route for such event? How did you do that?
That's a great question. So you can do it straight away and run the risk that you have a not optimal route. So you want to go the most direct, but you don't want much altitude in it. So you want to go as flat as possible. So you need to balance again between having maybe a longer route, which may look like a detour, but then save some climbing, which is, well, like you have enough climbing in the parcours anyway, and in between you can't avoid crossing one or the other mountain. So and this is probably what was going on in the planning thoughts, in the thoughts of planning of the participants there. So I haven't compared the routes, but like probably the southern route, I could imagine having some more meters to climb, whereas the most northern route maybe doesn't have that much of climbing, at least not there. However, it's not flat in the northern part of the Lake Constance, I must admit.
No, it's not. And if you're lucky, we have some riders also with a very special routing choice, and I would like to salute those two here, brave riders. It's Markus, cap number 224, and followed by Georg, cap number 148. Both went through the Valley of the Edge River, so that's a completely different choice. They turned here at this crossing, they turned southwards towards Bozen, Bolzano, Merano, and then now they are crossing into the, let me show you the dots for sure. And then they are passing here Davos and going through the middle of Switzerland. Perhaps that's not the fastest route, but most likely that's the most beautiful route, yeah?
Yeah, this is more likely the route that I was forced in inverted commas, because that is the area we went to last year as well. So we went through the middle of Switzerland. It's beautiful there. It's not as beautiful in the rain though. So, but if you have a route planned, it's well, maybe you have two variants of the route, or you need to stick to the plan. Otherwise, you can get really, really confused by just like planning on the fly, and you make mistakes, and then you end up doing twice as much of elevation as you probably would have liked to have on your route.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult decision. And probably, but those guys, if they look into the tracker, they may question themselves if the route planning was that good or that wise.
Oh, well, I think for most of those people out there, it's a big adventure, and it's not about winning the race. So maybe they hopefully enjoy it, and of course they are live now on TV with their routing choice. So Marco, thank you very much for choosing that route, and Georg, thanks as well for proving that Marcus is not the only one who have chosen the route.
Maybe they just wanted to enjoy the food in Italy a little longer than the others.
Maybe they go for some roasties in Switzerland.
Oh, maybe that, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you and good luck and have a nice trip. So, but we will not forget to do a little bit of the race reporting. Of course, let's have a look on the finisher board. And you may remember that we had some changes.
The leaderboard, we're not finishing it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I'm always there. So the leaderboard. So you remember we had a little bit of changing back and forth. Was this morning, it was Bernhard Ritter who was in the lead because he went longer through that difficult night with lots of rain and problematic. So he was the only one not stopping early. So he went through, but he's obviously slower than the two in front of him. So Lauron is doing strong again. He is leading in front of Simon. Or Simon, I'm not sure how it's correctly pronounced. 286. So those two have battled for the lead all day long, so they are quite close to each other with Bernhard here following, and on fourth place that's Joris. Joris is already also doing strong all day, and still the distance is not that much. It gives some indications, of course, but yeah, so nothing is decided yet so far, and
We're still early in the race.
It's
So,
yeah. I think we have half the distance covered approximately, but still it's another 3 days to go, which is quite long. Okay, that's the men's field. Let's see how the ladies are doing. I'll just filter that, now this feature that we can filter for the ladies. The ladies are not that far away. And who do we see here? We see Mona. Mona, under our cap number 245. Mona is also doing strong quite over the day. And if you have a check out on my comments, you see that she's in the middle, in the front of the women's field. Here we have Larissa, 51. And we have Jana, 92. So these are the three that are constantly leading the field. And you remember a very brave lady who descended Monte San Colano yesterday evening when I did my last comments. This is number 220, Margareta. So she was incredible. She was on top of peak number 1 at around 10 o'clock in the evening in the pouring rain and in the cold. And I wondered if she would stay over there, but no, she descended and continued. But now she may have stopped. Yeah, oh no, she has not stopped yet. So she's now in Innsbruck together with Elisabeth 130, and both of them looks like they were riding. It's not precise. I cannot precisely say if they just stop for dinner and then continue. Yeah, Stevie, when we look at the ladies' dots, there are not that many on the field. Why is this, and what would you tell other girls, women, and ladies? Why not racing such a beautiful race?
Yeah, I can just encourage all women who are wanting to do that, just do it and not overthink things, because there's always a person, at least one person who tells, especially women, discouraging things like, oh, you can't do that, how would you handle that on your own? So as if we women wouldn't be able to problem solve for ourselves. So we don't always have to have a man to look after us. So this is complete nonsense. So I can just encourage you not to get discouraged by people who see women as the weaker sex. So just do it. If you train, if you're in a good mood, just do it. Don't overthink it. We have a lot of role models, especially with having the new records set by women, long-standing men's records set now women have battled it. For example, Sarah Roggins, she evaporated the man's record from the John O'Groats, Land's End John O'Groats, or vice versa, I can't remember. And now just yesterday we had Molly Weaver going around Great Britain, and she bet the men's record standing for 30 or 40 years, I can't really remember, but for years and years. So these are the role models we should all aim for. We should be more focusing on those positive things, and there are so many women to follow on Instagram. Well, I got inspired by Jana Kiesenheimer, especially by the film. I think everybody knows this film, Three Peaks and In Between, and she caught me with that film. I thought it was so catchy, and all the landscapes and her dealing with problems, her eating, and all that inspired me, and that encouraged me to do that.
Yeah, so welcome all the ladies, join this event, register yourself. To salute other people who are also important for such a race. Our did not finishers, yeah, so don't forget them. So we can scroll down a little bit, and here we have a list of people who took the challenge and try yourself, but to whatever reason didn't make it. I will not read through the names, but I would love to thank all of those people trying it, yeah, taking the challenge, but also taking the decision not to finish. Usually all of them have their own story, and is perhaps not so happy to share the story of the finishers, but I think it's worth having at least a look. And hope you all are safe, hope you all are doing good, and enjoy your time that you have planned for the race as well. Yeah, so that's it, more likely for the evening. So on the top we will have quite some more riders finishing checkpoint number 2. I'm not sure about today's weather conditions. We didn't check so far if it's still raining. I heard that it was some rain, but hopefully it's not that heavy thunderstorms now in the evening. And yeah, that's it for now. So my final question, Stevie, what are your plans for races this year?
Yeah, after having successfully finished the Three Peaks bike race last year, I was courageous enough to sign in for the transcontinental race this year. I've always dreamed of that transcontinental race, and Three Peaks race. I don't want to make that a smaller race. It's just not as long as the transcontinental race, but it's much more elevation. And that was the last test for me, whether I could make it or not. We'll see if I can make it. But the funny thing is, I discovered with the parkours in the Three Peaks, you're taking the Colle de Finestre this year, and I'm doing the same, but from the other direction. I'm coming from the Asieta, and I'm descending the route that you're going upwards. And I'm so curious to see how that goes for all you guys. I wish you all the best for having a great ride, and for maybe a little less rain, a little more sun, and have fun.
Yeah, that's all what I can do, what I can say. Thank you for watching. We will be online again tomorrow, later in the evening, when I return from my training sessions, which I always do. I will announce that. So tomorrow I will be online at 10:15, so 10:15 p.m. And yeah, so apologies for the technical problems that I had. I try my best to prove the setup tomorrow evening, and love to see you again in our live stream, and wish you a lot of fun and a nice evening watching the Three Peaks bike race. So thanks everybody.
Just a tip for everyone: if you can't move anywhere, peanuts are the answer. Peanuts are so great.
Okay, I prefer chocolate, but that's individual. So thank you all for watching. Have a nice evening and see you soon.